What is up, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of the marketing series that I'm doing on Mondays. If you haven't already watched the first video, click around here somewhere or around there. I'll be sure to include it. But just to give a little recap, I talked about going for the smallest viable market. Again, this is going to be based off this book. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Great book. Highly recommend that you go out and read it. But the first one, going for the smallest viable market, a lot of us want a lot of people following us, or the biggest amount of customers or whatnot. And Seth Godin saying go for the smallest viable market. Okay, so again, if you haven't watched that video already, go ahead and go watch that one before you watch this one. But this next one has to do with the story part of your marketing. So one thing that I learned from Seth Godin is that every part of your business is telling a story. So oftentimes people just think about their product as what the story goes around. But what Seth Godin made me think about was everything. So whether it be what your website looks like, what your logo looks like, what your color scheme is, what your customer service is like, what your marketing is like, all of these things are parts of the story that you're saying, this is what this brand stands for. Now, when there's incongruencies within the story of what's going on, this is when people say there's little brand value. So maybe people like the product, but maybe there's little brand value because it's a confusing mess of what's going on. And I think one of the best examples that he gave in this was, let's take Nike, for example. If Nike were to go out and build a hotel, this is what he talks about in the book, we all can imagine almost what that Nike hotel would look like, right? But if a company like the hotel chain Marriott were to go out and make shoes, we have no idea what those shoes would look like, because even though they have maybe great customer experience and it's nice, we don't know who they really are per se. But with Nike, it doesn't matter what they go into, we know who they are. And so this really just got me starting to think, and this is part of where I got clarity on what I'm doing with the whole curiosity. Because when I was doing videos before, I was doing stuff that I was interested in, but I was more focused on just growth and businessy type stuff. And I'm still in that. Obviously, I'm doing a marketing series right now, but now once I got clear on my message of just being curious in general as a human being, wanting to go into these different areas. Like I said, eventually I'll be moving on to interviewing different people. It helped me get clear on what I want to be. So now, if my brand is based on curiosity, if I'm mainly speaking business right now, but I go talk to someone about Roman history, there's some congruency there. And the more I can go do that, and then what I can go from there, and then go into another subject, and then go into another subject. And so for me, that's when it got clear. So I am still personally developing my story. That's one of the reasons why I started doing more of these videos, so you can see more of the different sides of me, because we are 11 or 12 days in now, and that's how many new videos I've made starting with this brand. So there's still many, many, many more facets to come. I'm in the very, very early stages, of putting this story together. But I feel like if we were to look back in a year's time from now, what we'll see is a much more rounded picture of what I have in my head right now, as far as what do I represent. Sure, I like business. Sure, I like talking about faith. Sure, I like fitness. Sure, I like literature. I like all these different aspects, but this channel is not focused on any one in specific of those. Now, I may be doing series such as this one on marketing, but this is what I'm creating my story around. I'm creating my story around curiosity. And so for me, it's all about, I want to invite people in who are just curious individuals. Sure, you can benefit a little bit from me if you like talking about religion or philosophy. Sure, you can benefit a little bit about me if, you followed a little bit of my marathon journey. I do book reviews. So sure, you can benefit from me if you like reading books and whatnot. I'm going to be going into these different places to where I can invite people in and have the story around, we are curious people just wanting to find out more about the world in the different areas of life. So with that being said, with this lesson today, getting clear on your brand. Number one, smallest viable market, right? That was last week. This week, it's all about the story. So what story are you trying to tell people when they see you? What story are you trying to tell people when they come across you on the internet? There has to be congruency through it all. And if there's seeming incongruency, so maybe, someone doesn't know, and based off curiosity thus far, and they see the different types of videos, they may be confused. But that's why it's important to incorporate it in all, even in the different styles of video. That's why it's going to be important for me to incorporate that. So keep that in mind too. If you have more of a broader one that's not necessarily focused in one industry per se. So anyways, I hope that helps. Again, story. By the way, one book that I'll be doing on this later, once I'm done with a couple of these Seth Godin books, is, I believe it's called Building a Story Brand by Don Miller. I'll be going over that one with you to get clear on your story, the different aspects of story that we can go through, okay? But just understand, everything of what you put out on the internet is conveying a story about you. And if you ever want brand value is when there's congruency throughout the story. Companies that don't have brand value are incongruent in their story. Companies that have brand value are very, very congruent in their story, okay? So getting clear on your story, who you are, who you want to attract, what you're about, what you're against, can do you a great deal of good. Okay. All right. So if you are interested in these marketing series videos, I'll be coming out with them every Monday. I'm coming out with videos every single day. So if you just, want to tune in every day, that'd be great. But if you're only interested in these marketing series videos, I'll be creating a playlist as well to organize all of them and whatnot. But again, every Monday. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.